Hello guys, and welcome into a FPS test for the WoW Battle for Azeroth. This was requested by one of my followers on YouTube, and he asked me to show the MSI Afterburner stats, because in the streams this is impossible. Even if I turn on the MSI Afterburner and the Riva tuner, the all this FPS and information will not post. So I have to manually record this with Shadowplay, and to bring you hopefully a good enough video. Right now, as you can see, the video quality is 4K Ultra maxed out, 10 settings with anti-aliasing in CMAA, since it's 4K, but with the vertical sync enabled. This is due to the fact that last time I've disabled the VSync, the game simply crashed. It went up to 325 FPS in outside the game, so where I had my character to choose, and simply the PC restarted. I do not know if it's caused by the MSI Afterburner, which is known to crash WoW, or if it's a problem with my power supply, that is a Thermaltake Smart SE 630 watts. So let's disable VSync once again and hope for the best and see if the game crashes. If the video will stop, then all of a sudden you know it crashed. If not, we'll continue and see what the FPS are. If the game crashes, I don't know, it most probably will be from the MSI Afterburner. I mean, my power supply can take it without a problem, but I'll have to check out for it. Also, right now, since it's 4K, I'm using an HDMI cable that can put out 60 FPS, 60 Hertz, so can take 60 FPS at 4K. But I don't know, it may be from that also, and I really need to purchase ASAP a DisplayPort cable that can take even 8K at 60 Hertz, because trust me, the cable also makes a difference. So it's mandatory that it has golden connectors and it is powerful enough. Let's see if the game crashes. So VSync disabled, apply. Okay, and now we see the FPS jumped to 71. Look at the GPU utilization, 99% utilization, and here the 27-30%. I think this is the I really forgot what it is. Maybe it is the percentage of the VRAM utilized, or the something like that. I think it's that. But the overall GPU usage is this. With the Ryzen 5 3600, you can see no bottleneck whatsoever in open world. So it takes the RTX 2070 Super up to the max. You just have to put the GPU to a load big enough for it to be utilized at the max. And let's see the CPU usage. As expected, a single core is mostly used. We can see this one, the CPU 8, 86%, between 80 and 90%, dropping to 71, and the rest of the cores, of course, are way less utilized. This is also typically for WoW, but keep in mind these are the FPS. So standing here in Mesamer in Nazjatar, so you can play at 4K Ultra without a problem. Let's switch the resolution down to 1440p, leaving it at max 10 settings. You can see the MSI also is messed up. Because of this, I will not switch it in any way. So the only difference we see, let's say the FPS, this is an FPS drop, but also the percentage of the GPU usage. So for 1440p, the resolution is not that demanding for an RTX 2070 Super, and you would not need this GPU. You would be really good with a RTX 2060 without a problem, or if you can find for the same price an RTX 2060 Super. So that's why it isn't any bottlenecking. It's just that the GPU for this resolution doesn't need to be maxed out. Let's see what happens in 1440p if we max out the MSAA and put it to 8x. We should see an increase in the usage of the GPU, as you can see right now, but even so, the RTX 2070 Super doesn't come close to being fully utilized. Again, not because it would be bottlenecked by the CPU. You can see the rest of the cores are way more than enough, but simply the resolution is not that demanding. And we can see the FPS, of course, let's say in around 75 to 85 range in this area. And now for 1080p, but of course this is really redundant. You don't need this GPU for 1080p. Let's click it here. The GPU is utilized only at half, and we get around the same FPS, like 60, 70, 75 in that range. But of course, on a 4K monitor, the 1080p resolution looks really bad, and yeah, it's just for the FPS purpose. That's all. Let's switch back to 4K. And since it will be in 4K, CMAA for anti-aliasing. So we see the FPS are constant, but the GPU usage now it's at max. Let's go to BORALUS and see the FPS there. This time with this say with the MSI Afterburner turned on. Now we'll be able to see exactly how much CPU is utilized, how much of the GPU also. Okay, let's get out. So keep in mind this is 4K on a Sunday morning at almost 12 p.m. So these are the FPS. You can reach without a problem 60 Hz, 60 FPS cap. The GPU is utilized at 82%. Also the same with one core. We saw it reaches even 92% utilized, and the CPU frequency we see it ramps up to 4 GHz when it needs to. So for BORALUS, really it is a very good FPS range in this resolution. If we turn it down to actual ultra settings, because these are the recommended one, 7 is the old ultra settings, 10 is basically if you want to take a screenshot. Let's apply it in 4K 7, and we see a really big improvement in the FPS. We gain also almost 15 FPS. But around there, but of course now the GPU is not that much utilized. It's less demanding, this video quality, and still it is 4K ultra. Let's see one CPU core between 80 and 92 at 4 GHz. Honestly guys, the Ryzen 5 3600 is all the CPU you need. I mean, it is really incredible. I can stream on 2 platforms at the same time, on YouTube and Twitch, at 60 FPS capped, only because I don't want to have screen tearing, since my monitor can display only 60 FPS, having 60 Hz. I can video edit at the same time while I'm streaming and gaming in 4K Ultra, and streaming, as I told you, on those 2 platforms. I can stream even in 1440p 60 FPS. You do not need anything more. Trust me, it is all you would need. So this is our this is the FPS in BORALUS. I will try to make a recording in raids also. I just reached this item level, but I think I must be like 385 or something like that to go into raids, or maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, this is the FPS you can expect. Let's switch down to 1440p. We see the same less utilization of the GPU. If we put it up to 10 and max MSAA, the GPU utilization will rise a bit to 61, and these are the FPS, but again it's maybe too much. Let's put CMAA in 1440p also. So we are about in the 60 FPS range, and if we go down to 7, the FPS you can see they increase by a lot. So 15 FPS make the difference between playable and unplayable for sure. But even so, it's more than enough, as you can see here. And in 1080p, just for show, Again, we have about the same 75 FPS, but a very low usage on the GPU because it's too powerful for 1080p. You do not need an RTX 2070 Super to play in 1080p well. But the CPU, trust me, is good enough. Is way more than enough. And don't get fooled into thinking that you will be able to have like 144 FPS in big grades. There is no CPU on this planet that cannot be brought down to its knees by this game. So before you go and spend a fortune on an Intel CPU, as I did in the past, maybe you should look on the AMD also. The Ryzen 5 3600 is really an awesome CPU. Okay, let's come back to 4K. CMAA 7 settings, apply. You can see that basically the FPS remain the same. Also, keep in mind, guys, I really have 2 sticks of RAM that are really cheap for this PC. They are right now clocked only at 2133 megahertz. Crucial, without any heat sinks. They are from my old system, but you can see the RAM usage is really high, 10.5 gigabytes. I will have to switch them, and I am thinking of buying at least 32 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz RAM clocked at a latency of 14 CL14, so really fast RAM, and that for sure will help boost the FPS. But even so, even with maybe the cheapest RAM possible, you can have an impressive gaming experience. So basically, this is the FPS test. Let's make some quests in the open world also. Let's go to NVIDIA again. You can see here it rose up to almost 100 FPS. And even in 4K, you only need like 4 gigabytes of video RAM. Okay, let's see what this quest was about. Recruit Bladesman. Okay, I chose an ally.
Bury me where I die. My spirit will watch over the battlefield for all eternity.
I don't know what I have to do next. Maybe he will help me. He's my bodyguard. Really nice.
Have you come to examine my wares?
Okay, I don't see what this quest says, but I'll take it anyway. These dailies for the ally.
The tides will provide.
Let's take this quest also. I have no idea what that quest was.
What's going on out there? Never leave a man behind.
Let's accept call to arms Najtar.
See you around.
Okay. Let's see another quest right here.
I have clashed with Lord
God knows what that was about. I think I have to kill something.
What we started.
And
I offer what I can.
okay,
We
this
have
quest
reached an
also.
accord.
So you see the FPS in video quality 7s but 4K are really impressive. I don't know how many of you have a 4K 144 Hz monitor in order to take advantage on this FPS. Let's see. We should go where? Let's make this quest. 15 Naga forces slain and see the FPS. So I see this bodyguard follows me everywhere. It's really nice.
If there's one thing I've learned about dealing with
Let's
Naga,
put some
it's that
poisons.
you have to strike decisively. Let's get to it.
Yeah, this game has become really easy, and this is why I start to play WoW Classic to regain that satisfaction feeling. So it's really nice to have this bodyguard. Okay. How do I save this little guy? Nope. No. Okay, so just leave it like that. Let's see this cone shell, what buffs will give me. All damage taken reduced by 5%, very nice. And another one here. So yeah, you can see the FPS, 90 FPS. And it's stackable, very nice. Just keep in mind, guys, I have a lot of argues on YouTube regarding this subject. If you play with VSync off and you get even, let's say hypothetically, 1000 FPS, but your monitor can display only 60 Hz in a resolution, or let's say 144 Hz. That is the top FPS that you will actually perceive and your monitor will actually display. It's as simple as that. So from my point of view, playing any game with VSync off, as long as you get more FPS than the Hertz limit of your monitor, it's really a waste of money, because you will pay the electricity bill depending on which country you are. More expensive it will be for sure, and also the PC will generate more heat, the monitor will generate more heat, the GPU being utilized at almost 100% will spin its fans faster and will be hotter, and for really nothing. So just keep this in mind. And also you will get screen tearing. So if you have a 60 Hz monitor and you have 76 FPS with VSync off, you will see the screen tearing. So it's really, I don't see any point in playing with VSync off. like never. It doesn't make any sense. But of course, feel free to do whatever you want. Just imagine how much it will add the electricity bill over 1 year of time span, and add that to the cost of your actual GPU, and realize that you, with those money spent in vain, maybe just to heat up your home, because your room will get hotter for sure. Imagine what GPU you could have bought in the first place. So yeah, I leave it like this just for the sake of the FPS test for the ones who, let's say, have a 144 Hz monitor. But other than that, it's really it doesn't make any sense to play with VSync off and to get more FPS than your monitor can display. Let's see if I can kill this elite. So you see the bodyguard takes the aggro. So this is really helpful. Very nice. Let's see what abilities we have. Shift right click. Okay. Yeah. Let's use this. And this. This overwhelming power, but I cannot do it in combat. Let's find a spot safer than this one. Where is my bodyguard? There he is. That's just a range from here. Oh, but I feel so bad for leaving him there. Okay, now let's flee a bit and see again those powers. So overwhelming power. Okay. This shield would be really nice. And that's about it. And also this one. This. Arcane Heart. Okay, Omnipotence. But I think this is also very good. And this is about it. So yeah guys, basically 99-100 FPS in world quests. I will try in the next few days to make at least one video with the MSI Afterburner on, again for the raids or maybe for the instances, but you can imagine I really stopped playing the WoW retail, and I'm really focused on WoW Classic and on Fortnite since, let's say, 2 weeks ago or so. Hope this video will help you to choose wisely your future PC parts, and if you have any other questions related to my PC components or the game I place, feel free to ask them on the YouTube comment section, and also you can follow me on Twitch, and again I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I wish you all the best.